Hello, everybody. It's me, Roscoe, and welcome to another instalment of the Kings of Anglia Fan Social and Ipswich Town, our Premier League. I'll say that again. Ipswich Town, our Premier League. We're now a Premier League podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Still getting over it. Still going to take a while to sink in. I think fixture release day in June will be the day where we're going, okay, we're going to be heading off to Liverpool, Man United, the Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenhams of the world, and we're going to keep celebrating this unbelievable achievement. I'm here with two fine gentlemen, in Wazza, Matty Worrell, and Mark Jubster, to discuss it all in its glory. Obviously, we're going to get involved in the comment section. If you're joining us live, thanks for joining us. But if you're not, make sure to join us live every Friday night on all the platforms you can find us, basically. But let's not muck about. Let's bring in the man who gave me a lot of contributions this year on game day, home and away. It is Wazza, the hairy wonder. I'm hairy, but he's got a beautiful head of hair. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah. What a week, mate. What a week. I think the whole town's been absolutely buzzing, hasn't it? You know, you walked into work on Tuesday and everyone was just absolutely beaming. So, yeah, what a week. We are Premier League.
Oh, we are Premier League indeed. What a team. What a season, Jubster. Always a pleasure to see you. This was a Good Friday. I went to your house. We're a nice little, nice brekkie, and then you drove us up to Blackburn, and that was a well-win of the game. Obviously, that was a day we maybe felt okay. This is the run in here, and obviously now, it's been over a month or so since then, and Town now Premier League. How are you doing?
Oh, evening, Wazza, evening, Roscoe. How am I doing? Still on cloud nine. Really am still on cloud nine. Echo Wazza's thoughts there. What a week it's been, and let me now say it. Ipswich Town are Premier League.
It's never going to get boring, that, is it?
It's not.
No, not at all. Not at all. Especially maybe for me and you, Wazza. We were very young the last time Town were in the Premier League. Sorry, Jubster. Sorry. Don't leave us. Don't leave us. But we were very young when the Town were in the Premier League last time. So it's just going to be even to the new generation of the Town fans to see Ipswich Town in that lineup. Match of the day. On Sky. Oh, actually, we've been on Sky a lot, actually. But
we're going to be on FIFA, Ross.
Yeah, FIFA.
Portman Road's going to be on FIFA.
Yeah. What's it called? Bollocks. I should fantasy football. Obviously, we'll be on there.
Oh, so FPL.
Lee David, you can pick. Oh, it's going to be.
You pick three Town players.
Yeah,
I don't need to go to matches anymore. I just watch one match of the day. Save a bit of petrol in it.
Yeah, true. No, you want to be there, mate. You want to be there.
Of course I do, mate.
We're gonna talk about fixtures later on in the show. Obviously, they get released in June, but we're gonna talk about what we're looking forward to. But let's talk about the day as a whole, boys. We needed one more point, and that was against Huddersfield at Portman Road. And what a way to sort of end the season at Portman Road. Of course, a packed out stadium, a nice sunny day, and we had once again another bus greet. I know you're there in all its glory. Once again, we've spoken about this so many times. We had the Exeter game getting promoted that day as well. We had the Norwich game. Won't talk about that. But yeah, this one it felt bigger, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of discussion about it, wasn't there? I know in our sort of five-a-side group, there was like, oh, is it going to put the players off? Do we think that's good? I think it was absolutely brilliant. I think of the three, it's head and shoulders clear of the other two. I was there with me smoke, as were many other people. And I think that just set the tone, really. Like you say, the sun was beaming down on the town. The party was in full swing before we'd even kicked off. And if I was a player on that bus looking out the windows, I'd be absolutely buzzing, boy. I'd be absolutely buzzing. So, yeah, I think that really, really got us off to a good start. And it was just the perfect start for what was to come, weren't it?
Yeah.
You start with a party, you finish with a party. Bit of football in the middle. Jobs are good.
Yeah, perfect, Dan. Yeah, it's a perfect word, actually, Jubster. Moss has mentioned it set the tone. I thought I literally went blind because obviously some of the smoke went right in my eyes. I was like, oh my God, I can't see. But thankfully, I was able to see and I just saw the sea of blue. But yeah, it did set the tone for the day ahead.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I got to walk down Sir Alf Ramsey Way. You see the coach coming, all this blue going up. Where's the coach? And the noise as well. The greeting from the town fans, the songs, the chants. I was fortunate enough to be for the Exeter one last season, but I agree with Matty. This was heads and shoulders above that. Taking that to a next level. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was the perfect start to the day's proceedings.
Alf Ramsey Way, I think, but you had some really sort of special moments this sort of last 12 months. Obviously, it's had the Exeter greeting, but you look at, after the Southampton game with people pouring out of Portman Road and singing, he's magic, Jeremy Sarmiento, and then you finish it there. You had all the celebrations out there. So obviously we sit in the north stand and we can kind of see out from the back of the stand because the metal stand is sort of bent slightly. So you could see people were just gathering there, masses of flags and smoke before the full-time whistle had even gone. And then obviously you've got them scenes on Monday with people lining the streets. So great scenes sort of throughout the year on that road, really.
Yeah, I'm sure Sir Alf Ramsey is looking down in just loving this. I'm sure Boy Robson as well, is looking down, and all the other past greats of Ipswich Town who are no longer with us. But yeah, what a great start to the day. And the game itself, I think all of us were like, it was. I know Huddersfield very much, they were virtually down, but we still had to do the job, and we did the job. Only a 2-0 win. It wasn't the 6-0 like last year with Exeter when it was a sort of done and dusted at half time. It was only 1-0 at half time, and you were thinking, anything can happen. Football, it could be freak results, but thankfully not. 2-0 win, Matt. Actually, I went a bit formal there, actually, Matt. Wazza. I don't think I'll ever call you Matt anymore, really. But yeah, Wazza. The game, well, probably, I hate to say it won't be forgotten about, but it will just be, everything else will be remembered more because of the celebrations, the pitch invasions. But your quick snap thoughts on the game as a whole, because it was just one of those games, just professional performance, 2-0, job done.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. It was really professional. I think you could tell from the outset that Huddersfield weren't up to much. Admittedly, I don't know much about their squad, but I know they sort of dropped players like sort of Thomas and I'm probably going to say his name wrong, but Bergzorg, the striker. So you could see they were sort of playing to look at next season, and Axel Twanzebe hit the side of the net early on, and Chappers I think fired one wide, and you just sort of, I was quite nervous going into the game, but when you start like that and you really sort of put your stamp on it, nothing to worry about with these boys, is there?
No, there isn't. And so MK said the Huddersfield man had just left. Yeah, I think he was going to potentially leave anyway before this game, and yeah, he's of course now gone today. But yeah, Jobster, the game itself, as I said, job done.
Never got out of second gear, really, did we? Let's be honest. It was professional from minute 1 through to minute 90. And the crowd played its part as well. I won't speak for every Town fan, but I wasn't for this particular game nervous. I think what Ipswich have served up over these last 2 seasons sort of led us into a game where we were in control. Remember, we were the ones that needed a point. We didn't have to worry about results elsewhere. We didn't have to see what was happening up at Ellen Road or anything. We just needed that 1 point. And okay, we were playing the team that was second from bottom, but I did think that the Huddersfield team that turned up at Portman Road were very different to the Huddersfield team we played at the John Smiths back in September. They were under Darren then, weren't they? They were a lot more tougher nut to crack back in September. So, I was confident that we'd get the job done and get that one special point that we needed. And as it turned out, Leeds lost, so we were promoted, probably promoted way back at the Hull game. But that's the nature of football.
Yeah, obviously we heard about the Leeds result, didn't we? And that was sort of we're going up, so I think it was a party atmosphere anyway. But when we heard about them being 1-0 down, of course they equalised, and then they went on to lose anyway. And obviously we got a goal. Wesley Burns makes it 1-0, and then obviously second half, Amari Hutchison makes it 2-0, and job done. And should we just segue right into the scenes? That was obviously we had a little pitch invasion last year. I won't talk about that because it was just one of those, it wasn't great, was it? But this time around, dearie me, carnage is the word. I know both of you got onto the pitch. We'll talk about your story in a minute, Jobster, but was take Blue and Town. Obviously, we knew maybe 30 minutes before that we were like, oh, we're not going to lose this game, and Leeds are already losing. But yeah, take us back to that moment where full-time whistle hit and Town are in the Premier League, baby.
Well, before we go on to the absolute scenes at the end, Ross, I think it's important to note that me and you saw Russell Martin on the Tuesday night outside of Coventry. And I believe we said or I certainly did, in maybe slightly less friendly terms, I expected him to have a bloody good performance on the final day of the season. So it's good to see that he listened to me and pulled his finger out. But no, when that full-time whistle went, I've never known anything like it. Just the relief, the joy of that moment. We sit sort of in the corner, so we'd gone down on through the concourse to get through to the middle, and you knew that the stewards were up on, and they'd read the script because they just opened the gate and just flooded out. And my mate Joe, who I go to all the away games with, and we play five-a-side with Ross, he sits up in the west stand. He'd come down onto the pitch, and I'd walked over and just found them, and I found you on the centre circle, and people are just hugging each other, people are crying. I've never known anything like it. It was just absolutely brilliant. It genuinely will go down as the best day of my life, and probably nothing will ever top it, because I can't see how it will, unless, you know, a couple of years when we win Champions League, I suppose. But you know, it was just absolutely brilliant. All the players. I mean, I ended up not far from Clarkey, who's obviously been hoisted up on people's shoulders. Obviously, he's emotional, being a local lad. Lewis Travis has sort of walked past us. Harness, all players that have played their part. And it was just brilliant to be together, club and fans. And 5 years ago, that divide between the club and the fans was huge. Who'd have ever thought we'd have seen scenes like that, where everyone's all together on the pitch, celebrating, going into the top division? Crazy.
Unthinkable, you know, a few years back. But obviously the new ownership, Mark Ashton, McKenna, we'll get on to Kieran McKenna later, because I mean, he needs a big shout as always. But yeah, Justin, we've seen these scenes so many times, you know, as a neutral just watching from afar, and you do just think, one day it'll be us. Obviously, we had that in 2000, you know, the Bolton game, there's that pitch invasion then, but we haven't had anything like that since. And yeah, mate, you got a battle wound because of that. So you've got that to look at, you know, for the next few weeks while that heals up. But yeah, take it away. How was that? And obviously, you were there with your son as well, so I'm sure that was an amazing moment as a dad to have, you know, your son there as well to celebrate that scenes.
Wow, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just a massive outpouring of emotion, isn't it? You know, 22 years of mediocre Championship and League One football, and you know, even in our wildest dreams at the start of the season, you know, would we have said we were Premier League? I mean, I've said many a time on game day, you know, I don't think we were quite at the top levels of the Championship. They've blown us away. But yeah, to go out onto that pitch, you know, with my son who's turning 19 next month, you know, who's only ever seen Ipswich in the Championship, absolutely amazing. Took me a little bit longer to get down onto the pitch, unfortunately, because I got caught up in the melee to get down there, and ended up being wrapped around one of the chairs and the poles that hold them into the ground. I've got a bruise the size of a dinner plate on the inside of my thigh, and it's been a painful week, but it's a great reminder of those scenes as we got down there onto the pitch. You know, everyone around, the blue smoke, the white smoke, you know, the players. Scenes like that. It's only the third time I think I've been onto the pitch, you know, to do a celebration like that. And yeah, I was really glad that my son Harvey was there alongside me as well.
Yeah, of course, we had it in 92, I think, obviously, when we went up to the newly formed Premier League as well. And I'm sure there's been other pitch invasions at Portland Road. I think I'm taking us back a little bit further now, but I'm sure there's been many. So, but that's good. Just unbelievable. I just remember myself just like, I got maybe a bit too into it, because obviously I want to take pictures, but I was like, no, I've got to get in there. So I was hugging people, I was kissing people. It was just unbelievable. And yeah, I just love that the players just really got involved as well. Like sometimes some players may want to run off, but I think they were just happy just to enjoy the scenes, because they're now going to be Premier League footballers, which is just unbelievable. And yeah, shout out to everyone who got involved, because it was just unbelievable scenes. I loved watching the visual from above. You know, I know a lot of people were filming from above, and I saw different videos. I think AJ had to stay up there, Alex Jones, my colleague, because he was writing the report and stuff, and he got a great video of it. And I just love watching the aerial view of just that scenes, and it was just unbelievable. So once again, it'll be a day that everyone will, you know, stay with them, I'm sure. Definitely the younger fans who have seen just rubbish, but thankfully this team is just so good. Also, Matt, I've got a message here from STST. He's calling your hair epic, and he's saying he's jealous. Next time you have a cut, can I have some, please?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll arrange some sort of donation scheme. It'd be fine.
Like that. But yeah, unbelievable scenes, and obviously the scenes continued throughout the night. And yeah, Ipswich Town was taken over by the whole fan base. I know that a lot of the pubs were preparing themselves the day before, but I was told by a few people that some pubs, they were turning people away by 10 o'clock at night because I think they ran out of beer. But yeah, Matt, just the celebrations continued throughout that whole weekend. It's probably still celebrating now. You're still going to celebrate until you give up, really. But yeah, like the whole weekend as a whole, mate. Ipswich Town are Premier League. Is that continuing to sink in yet?
Well, I'm sure one man that is still celebrating is Harry Clark. I'm sure
Yes.
even if he'd stopped drinking on Sunday evening or even Monday, he'd still probably be over the legal limit. So I hope he's safe wherever he is.
I think they're going to Vegas. I think the team are going. The boys are going to Vegas. So.
That's going to be. To be fair, they were partying with Ed Sheeran the other night.
Yeah,
they're on top of the world. But no, it was absolutely brilliant. We ended up in down on the waterfront, down in Isaacs, and they were playing sort of, they're playing like Wacka Wacka and Don't You Want Me Baby and Voulez-Vous, and obviously all the people in there were singing the town versions of that, and then the players sort of emerged down there, didn't they? They were up on the sort of balcony, and even Mark Ashton was getting involved. So what do you think of them lot and all that? So absolutely brilliant. And again, I just think that speaks volumes about how far this club has come, because for years this town, it didn't really have a heart. We lost the community. But then you see that video that was the day before the game of Mark Ashton going at that school, and you see the people on the pitch, you see the people celebrating in the town, and we've got our club well and truly back. It's been said a lot over the last 4 years, hasn't it? But them celebrations, I think they really, really do just sort of show that better than anything else ever could.
Yeah, definitely. I just love now seeing so many like town shirts about. Before it used to be all the usual suspects, Man United and Man Cities and the Chelseas, Arsenal's of the world. But yeah, just the club feels. We've said this many times. The last year or so, we've felt like this club is just so together. So many the families who go to the games. Even with this community, we've grown. We've seen the difference as well. But yeah, that obviously I think you had to head back away from Suffolk for something else. But yeah, how was your celebrations?
Oh yeah, they carried on into the evening, but yeah, I was on a family holiday in Norfolk, boo hiss, at the time, and I'd got special dispensation from the wife to go down to the game. When we booked it, we didn't know if there was going to be any importance on it, and of course the weeks leading up to it, I was getting a little bit sort of nervous. But yeah, I went back when I ran up to Norfolk and into a pub with the scarf on, and yeah, got a few congratulations from some of the people in the pub garden. I felt I could do this, given the season that we'd had, that we could do it. But yeah, I mean, you go back to what Matty's just been saying about having our club back. This has just reinvigorated the town. The promotion to the Premier League and all the money that's going to pump into that economy. It's benefited the wider county as well of Suffolk. And I mean, look, I live in Cambridgeshire, and I've had a season ticket for years. So I feel a bit of a interloper coming over the border, but just so our club is call it a phoenix rising from the ashes, of a better way of calling it. We're back in the national media. We're in the international media, weren't we? In the week leading up to this game, I was hearing, we're on news reports down in Australia. I work for an American company that are based out of Illinois, and hearing, they were coming to me going, "Is that your club?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's my team." So yeah, to get that in the lead up to this. But yeah, Ipswich well and truly going to be right back on the map now, isn't it? Thanks to this ownership group and this management team that we have.
And Woz, I want to bring up, because you're wearing this season's shirt, and that's another thing we're going to remember that shirt and all the kits. And someone's actually put in the chat, Alcatraz GH. I've got all 3 shirts this season. I haven't got a shirt since 2008, and that's another thing. That shirt and all the shirts this season will be remembered forever. I'm actually wearing the 3rd kit. Just hiding it under this jacket.
Great kit.
I've just got, don my Adidas as always. But yeah, those kits will always be remembered. Obviously, we always look back at the 2000 kits, the the 1981, UEFA Cup kit, obviously the FA Cup kit as well. But that's another thing to just talk about quickly is the kits as well, because that kit, I think people were 50-50 about it, but it'll be remembered, and I'm sure they're going to try to sell them out a bit more, because I know they're sold out at the moment, but I think they're going to try to sell them even more.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, Ross, and many others do, no doubt, I bloody love me football kits. Me spare room through there is just basically a walk-in wardrobe full of football kits. And regardless of what I thought at the start of the season, this is probably my favourite kit of all time, just for the memories that go with it. You know what I mean? I the white one, that was me party in the park. So that's, going to live long in the memory. We've got the orange. Always love an orange away shirt. I hope we go orange next season, because it always reminds me of that Power Gem one back in sort of, I think, 06. Love that kit. So yeah, it's gonna live long in the memory, and I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong on this, and you guys will be more educated than me, but this was a throwback, I think, was it the last time we got promoted out of the division? So
Yeah, it was.
it's clearly, if when we're next in the championship, let's just run it out again, because it clearly works. Clearly works.
Yeah, I'm sure they're loving it at the moment. The club, the shirts are getting sold out like crazy. All the retro stuff as well, and obviously all the training kits and everything. I'm sure they're having a laugh. They just go, yeah, it's raining money at the moment, because people are just loving the club and stuff like that. And just, I'm sure you're the same. You've got the kits. I'm sure your son wants it as well.
Oh, indeed, yeah. What did Ashton say this week? 60,000
Yeah.
have been sold this season. I mean, that's incredible numbers. I mean, I also like the fact that the connection with Suffolk and Ed. The fact that it's Ed's tour on the front of our shirt, and you look back to the last time that we were promoted, it was Green King. So those nice brewers down at Bury St Edmunds. So I love the connection that we have with Suffolk as well when it comes to our sponsors. But yeah, we've had some cracking kits over the years. Not so cracking ones as well, but yeah, this one's definitely going to definitely live long in the memory for sure.
I mean,
sorry, come on, was it? Wait.
I was going to say, I just googled on my second screen there. Apparently, according to Google, so pinch of salt, apparently the population of Ipswich is just about 137,000. So basically half the town is in blue and white. And like you said, Ross, before that it was all Man United, Liverpool, because the kids have been starved of success. But now they can wear a shirt that, actually matters.
Yeah, it's just great to see. And obviously, the town got took over by all the town fans, obviously on Saturday. And then also on the Monday, boys, the bus parade. We had that in 2000, obviously, which was great. Obviously, that was when they went down to the Corner Hill. But this time they went to, starting at Portland Road, and it got to Christchurch Park. I didn't actually go, which is, bad, Ross, but I had other things on. And I was a little bit annoyed. And definitely after seeing the scenes, I was like, how have I missed that? But luckily there's a lot of footage these days, a lot of pictures, so you can see it. But I know you were there, and mate, take it away, because that just looked insane once again.
Yeah, I only live a sort of couple of minutes from Christchurch Park now, so I walked down, met up with the people I go to the games with, and again, everyone was just in such great spirits. The DJ was playing absolute bangers. They had the highlights of the Huddersfield game on a big screen. That was just absolutely brilliant. And at that point, they started showing like a live feed of the bus coming from sort of Portman Road and up, and the whole place has just gone absolutely mental. And then obviously the players are on the microphone. Some of that is absolutely brilliant. I don't need to repeat what's been said, but we bloody loved it. Yeah, what a day. I never thought I'd get to celebrate my team going to the Premier League. Whilst for ages, me and one of my mates, we always said, while we was treading water in the Championship for 15 plus seasons, that we must be one of the most boring clubs in the world to support, and we never thought we'd see us do nothing. Well, we have now. So yeah, you got to make the most of these moments, haven't you? Because they're going to live with you forever. And yeah, what a celebration, and rightfully so. Them players, they deserve the town to come out and celebrate their achievements, because they've done us all proud.
Yeah, and yeah, just that we had Lily. Yeah, it was Lily 2 decades of just nothingness, and now 2 seasons in a row with one promotion. Obviously, last year was a lot. It was a long waited for promotion after 4 years in League One. I think we all it was just all relieved that we're out of League One and got back to the Championship, and they've done the unthinkable. But yeah, to see those scenes, for me, it just proves how big Ipswich Town is as a club. The fan base is just massive. Because even though I wasn't there, I was sort of gutted to miss it. But I just sort of sat there and gone, this club is just massive. Like this fan base is huge because we are a one club, in Suffolk, with that big club. We're in a way one club in East Anglia in terms of the big, the fan base with the history and stuff. Little dig there for you, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, it just proves how this club has got such a big fan base and a big community. Obviously, some people come out of the woodwork because we're doing well, but deep down we all love this club. But yeah, it was just unbelievable scenes, wasn't it?
Oh, it was absolutely wonderful. Yeah, we are a big club. It was certainly something getting used to when you're listening to the pundits saying, little old Ipswich that had come up from League One, because like I said, I follow Town all my life, and we've been a big club. That's for sure. So I think the fan base has just been there, but just because it's been served up over these last 20 plus years, the fan base has just sort of withered away, but it's there all right. And like I say, this next generation of Town fans coming through, it's just great to see. You touched on the Mark Ashton piece at the school, to see the town coming to a standstill. I mean, weren't those buses superbly decorated out? I know it's vinyl, but wow, weren't they brilliant? And that was the first time we got to see our logo next to the club logo next to Premier League as well. But yeah, absolutely amazing scenes. And yeah, that's just for we've been so success starved for so long. It's like a pent up build up of emotion. You've seen other clubs doing it and you think, when's it going to be our day? Surely it's going to be our time soon. And I think that's what you've seen over this bank holiday weekend and culminating in that bus parade. And I really hope that's not the first of many bus parades that we're going to see over the coming years.
Yeah, we shall wait and see. 330 people joining us, so thanks everyone for joining us live. And yeah, was just gone crazy year or so. Been a whirlwind since we got taken over by Game Changer. Obviously, a big salute to them, a big salute to Mark Ashton. But Kieran McKenna, should we talk about him? Because this man has transformed this football club on the pitch with the performances, with the team he's put out there. He'll be remembered forever. This group of players will be remembered because a lot of those, if you think about it, look at the Exeter lineup, look at the Huddersfield lineup, very similar. Not many different changes. Maybe, yeah, Mari. Who else is there? Vaz, of course, starting goal. Axel.
That was it. That was it. I think. I'm pretty sure it was 8 of the 11.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I think it was 8 of the 11.
Yeah. Wes scored in both the games as well, didn't he?
Well,
yeah. Wes was obviously the first signing, wasn't he, of the Game Changer era? Yeah. So, started it and almost, well, hopefully he's not finished the journey. Hopefully the journey's going to go on and see us sort of establish ourselves. But he's certainly had a big part to play in it. But, I mean, what can you say about Kieran McKenna that's not already been said? Bloke's an absolute genius. There's a great photo. I don't know who took it, Ross. I don't know if it's one of yours, one of the papers, or elsewhere, but he's being sort of hoisted in the air by the players, and the signs on the cobbold where it's like halo and all that, well, one of them's perfectly aligned round his head. And I'm sure there's no coincidence in that, because I feel like somebody's been sort of guiding us through this season. I ain't a superstitious bloke, but there's no coincidence that he's below that. But no, absolutely unbelievable. And his team follows his lead, don't they? We're understated, we're professional, calm. When he came in, I thought it was an ambitious appointment. I didn't know quite how well it would go, but I was, going in a different direction. And what a job he's done from day one. He's taken us to the promised land, and I can only hope that he, does another brilliant job next season, which I'm sure he will.
Yeah. I want to go back to those early podcasts when he got appointed, because obviously I'm sure a lot of us were like thinking, who's this guy? Obviously he's coming from Man United, so he's got some credentials, but yeah, I think we were, I wouldn't say the word is underwhelmed, but we were like a little bit surprised. And as you said, I was somewhat excited. I was like, this could be something, a different route. We've gone down a young route with Paul Hurst before. This felt a bit different. But yeah, Jobster, we've said so much about him. Someone's actually said, this is Adrian, ask McKenna to help you with driving lessons, Roscoe. Yeah, maybe, do you know what? He can maybe sort me out potentially. So yeah, K-Matt, if you're watching, sort me out, mate. But yeah, Jobster, yeah, Kieran McKenna,
Well, yeah, and first and foremost, credit to Ashton for having the kahunas to find that manager and sell the vision and the project to McKenna to come in. I know Ashton's got a good track record of previous clubs of finding managers, but yeah, in comes this person that nobody's heard of, and well, but the history books are going to write themselves about McKenna's time with us. But as Ipswich fans, we've ticked every box. The football's a delight to watch. He's very humble. He won't. He's very humble in the way that it's a team effort. If he wins, how many managers of the month did he win this season? I think it was a couple at least. The photo is not of him holding the trophy. The photos of the whole squad. And everyone. Even let's not forget about the staff that are at Playford Road. That they're all then in this photo as well. Very much a team focused individual. So he will manage at the top. Let's call it out as it is there, as it is now. He is establishing himself in the early stages of his managerial career, and we're very fortunate, very lucky. It's great that he's with us, and long may it continue. Let's see now. Given a year in the Premier League, let's see what he's made of and where we go, because he's just on a meteorical rise up.
Yeah, unbelievable. And we'll be doing a lot of podcasts through the next few weeks and through the summer, obviously talking about the players, because that will be the next big talking point, the retained list, and talking about which players will be able to step up to the Premier League. We're not going to get onto that today because we've got weeks and weeks to look ahead. But this team as well, though, we've got to give them a shout, because as I said earlier, this team will be remembered for a very long time, especially the players over here from last year, which is pretty much most of them. But once again, that's what I love about the celebrations. So you just feel so connected to these players. Every single one, there's a story there, and yeah, they just seem so connected. Every time after the game, celebrating with the fans, it just feels so connected.
Well, there was players that haven't played 90 minutes of football regularly, but I'm pretty sure every player in that squad at some stage or another has come up with a massive moment. You can look at Freddie Ladapo, his 2 goals against Cardiff to turn that game. I think we were 2 down, weren't we? And we won at 3-2. Marcus Harness, he produced a brilliant performance. I believe it was against Hull at home. And then he got those 2 equalising goals against Birmingham away. Caden Jackson, has played his part. He got, a goal against Stoke, I think, on the opening home game. He's taken on a new role, albeit last year, under Kieran McKenna. But nobody in that squad has sulked or gone, and thrown their toys out of the pram. When they've been called upon, they've been ready to go. And I think that speaks volumes about McKenna's man management and about the spirit that's in that squad as a whole, because we've got some really top professionals in there. Whether they're the best technical footballers in the world or not, team spirit can take you a long way. I think, our success this season is a testament to that. And I think McKenna and that group of players have really sort of fostered a great culture in that dressing room.
Yeah, and Sam Morsey, Jubster, is the man who's the captain, super captain, of course, player of the year. But I think they all just, as someone said here, and I don't know if I agree with this sometimes. This is from Chris from New Zealand. Good, my friend. We have super players, but no superstars. Although I do think we have got some superstars in our squad. Like Amari Hutchinson, we're going to get onto him in a bit. He's definitely a superstar in the making. But yeah, I think we just got a team. It's not, a few individuals. That's what I think that's a problem at some clubs. They've got a few individuals who are superstars, but our team are just so together, and they just work and they run towards adversity. Bringing that mantra in, because that's what they're fighting for that the pension fund in Arizona. And yeah, okay, we may not have those superstars, but we've got a team for the fighters.
It's exactly that. Chris is almost on the point there. That is a team. That's a team that is very fit. You could see our level of fitness against our oppositions, certainly at the start of the season. But we've also got players that are ready to come on and make that impact, and to come on. They don't need a day or a game or two to get up to speed. They're ready. Marcus Harness, perfect example against Birmingham, and that's the good thing. We can wax lyrical about every single one of those, of that squad, but it's the manager that has to, to keep that squad fit, keep that squad happy, keep the tactics going, keep the team cohesion going, and they're just all ready to, when they're asked to pull on that shirt, to come onto that pitch and bring the magic. It's amazing, and the team spirit within the club is there to see from the moment, like you say, when Sam Morsey gets that huddle going at the start of that game. That's the beginning of it. And Sam Morsey is, we're very lucky, thank you, Paul Cook, for getting him to come down from Middlesbrough to join us in League One. And that you never get a less than an 8 out of 10 performance out of Sam Morsey. He just commands that midfield. I'm really looking forward to seeing him now command that midfield in the Premier League.
Yeah, and obviously they've sacrificed a lot this season, the players, because I know they do a lot of hard training, a lot of hard work, and they deserve the celebrations afterwards. They deserve celebrating throughout the last few days. Obviously, as you mentioned earlier, was obviously the Ed Sheeran celebrations, which was great to see. Them singing with him, and just I'm sure a lot of them are like massive Ed Sheeran fans. So I'm sure that would just be a pinch me moment as well as a player, like, I'm here with Ed Sheeran. Like this, and it felt very private. It was at like in Hellsworth, I think the place is, and that must be a pinch me moment as well. Was I know they are footballers for Ipswich Town, but this is Ed Sheeran, a global superstar, basically singing just for us, basically.
You say very private, Ross. There's a clip of them singing in the bloody toilets, mate. So it's absolutely great to see. But yeah, I mean, I think with Sheeran, I'm sure I'm not a big Formula One fan, but I saw a clip of him walking down like the pit lane and talking about it on that, which is obviously a sport that's got a huge global audience. I think it only, goes to put Ipswich a bit, on the map. Same Fabio Wardley, and fighting in his Ipswich Town colours and with the badge on his boxing shorts. So yeah, it's just great for the club, really. Absolutely great. Puts us on the map.
Yeah, it does. Unbelievable. And bring on the Premier League, which will be on another bigger scale, playing all the big dogs. And we're going to get on to talking about the fixtures in a bit. We've got a few other segments as well. But let's have a little pause here. And we've got 390 people joining us. Can we get 400 people in? Share it to your friends. Share it to all. Just anybody, even if they're not a Town fan, get involved on this live show. Because, boys, do you think, nearly a week ago, we were preparing for the game, and now we're, week gone, and we're a Premier League club. And do you know what? Since I've said that, it's 395 people joining us, which is unbelievable. If you're listening on a different day, make sure to join us every Friday. But we have got the strike coming up next, so let's bring it on.
Papers.
Let's get pen and papers at the ready. 5 questions plus a tiebreaker. Everyone get involved in the comments. Hope you're having a good Friday night. And I think we're literally one away from 400. I'm going to make a screenshot of this in a second, so get ready to pose, boys. Going to wait for that 400. Come on, one more person to come in. They're not going to come in. Oh, they dropped to 5. It's dropped down to people.
Yes,
I've jinxed it. People have had enough of that. People have had enough of Roscoe. But let's do the 5 questions plus a tiebreaker. Let me just get the questions up in all its glory. And question 1 is on Jim Magilton, who celebrated his birthday on Monday, also won the Irish Cup. I won't say the team because that is the question. But let's see if the boys can know the team. I'm bringing up the teams. Don't worry. But he's the manager of which Northern Ireland top flight team? He also won the Irish Cup for them for the first time in 45 years. Something crazy. Is it Cliftonville, Coleraine, or Linfield? Cliftonville, Coleraine, Linfield. Obviously, Jim, what a man. Obviously, part of the team back in the 2000s. Obviously, managed the club. And if you haven't already listened to my podcast with him back in December, go and check it out, ladies and gentlemen. That was a great chat with him. And just Jim, magic. He's just fantastic. So, just won the Irish Cup with this Northern Ireland team. But which is it, boys? What do you reckon?
I don't know if you can see that, but I've gone with Cliftonville.
I wish I paid more attention to these interviews. I'm too busy listening to Jim and his dulcet tones than reading, what club he's the manager. I've gone for Linfield.
Linfield. Well, you're thinking the same as Chris. No, not Chris. Charlie in the chat. But you're both wrong because it is Cliftonville. So there we go. 1-0. But yeah, I think he's the first ever full-time manager at Cliftonville. I don't think I've ever had a full-time manager before. So yeah, not bad going there. But yeah, question 1, Jimmy Gilton is 1-0 to Wazza. But Joster, still got a few more questions to go. Do not worry. Question 2 is on Chris Macon, another podcast of mine you want to check out. I did a great chat with him, I think, back in November. Also celebrates his birthday this week. And it's a bit of a road question. But he played in France. And I want to know what team he played in France for. Was it Bordeaux, Marseille, or Toulouse? There we go. Chris Macon. So it was such a weird signing at the time because he was playing for Oldham, I think, Chris. And then he went to France, which is random. That doesn't happen that often. Yeah, it was Oldham. Obviously, Oldham at the time were in the Premier League. I think actually they were in the first division. Actually, I think they got relegated from the Premier League because they're one of the founders, weren't they, of the Premier League? But yeah, such a random signing at the time. But yeah. Also, 395 people joining us. I'm just going to screenshot that. I'm just going to do that. That's good, just for the bank, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, what do you reckon? Let's see what people are saying in the chat.
Blind guess. I've gone with Toulouse.
Yeah. Snap. I've gone with Toulouse.
Ooh, Charlie's gone for Toulouse as well. But you're both wrong. You're wrong. It's Marseille. Marseille. 400 people. Screenshot that quickly. Come on. Love that, boys and girls. Thanks for joining us. So I've screenshot that. I'm just going to save that. 400 people.
I know Peachy loves doing a lot of research ahead of the strike. I'd love to know if he'd researched this particular question.
I don't know if he would have done, because that was a bit of a rogue one. I've got another rogue one later on, so get ready for that later.
There we go.
Question 3, though, is on, maybe it's a rogue one here. This is on Mark Noble, who obviously had a loan spell with Town in 2006. Obviously a West Ham legend. But yeah, what squad number did Mark Noble wear during his loan spell at Town in 2006? Is it 16, 20, or 24? So there we go. 410 people joining us live. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Get involved. Like, subscribe, and all that. It's what the YouTubers do, don't they? But yeah. Like and subscribe. And all that jazz. Yeah, love that. But yeah, what do you reckon, ladies and gentlemen? Get involved in the comments.
Blind guess of 16.
16.
Yeah. 24.
24. And you're both wrong. It's 20.
Brilliant.
Question 4.
It's going well.
This is what is going on.
This.
Question 4. This is a question for Mark Keith because he celebrates his birthday this week. Not Mark Keith, but the player I'm about to mention. And that is Aaron Drinan.
Oh, legend.
Drizzy. He celebrated his birthday on Monday. So I'm sure he enjoyed the scenes of the parade. I'm sure. Obviously, he's at Swindon now. But yeah, Aaron Drinan. What is his middle name, boys? People will know this.
Ross, behave.
What is his middle name? Is it David, George, or John? I've gone down that route of very classic, you know. I'd say British name, but he's not British, he's Irish. So the classic.
Yeah, don't put your foot in it.
No, just classic, you know. Just classic name. Classic just man name. Yeah. So yeah, Aaron David Drinan, Aaron George Drinan, or Aaron John Drinan. I think I've done this question before, so if you have listened to old strikes, then you may have known. But yeah, we shall see. So far, no one's got it right from the other questions. There is actually a correct answer in the chat, but I'm not going to sort of give it away. But yeah. Is Judge going to get on the board, or is Wazza going to make it 2-0?
Well, admittedly, I've got the chat there, and therefore I've probably got it wrong. My middle name's George, so I went with George.
I went with John.
Yes!
Hey!
Good answer for once. There we go. Oh, there we go. There is 1-1, which actually makes it interesting going into the final question, though, Wazza. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, don't mind it.
Question 5 is on Richard Keogh, who announced his retirement last week. And this is another rogue question, and you're going to probably swear at me about doing this. But yeah, Richard Keogh obviously was a ball boy at Town, then went to Stoke, and during his time at Stoke, he went out on loan to a Scandinavian team. which was that Scandinavian team? Was it Iceland, Norway, or Sweden? So which Scandinavian country did he go out on loan to?
Well, I mean, it's not as rogue as I was expecting.
No.
What was his shoe size? His first dog's name. You know, them sort of security questions you get.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, his middle name's John as well, so I couldn't go down 2 middle name routes, could I? John here as well.
I won't be picky, but one of those is not a Scandinavian country.
No, you're not wrong.
What fun?
Iceland.
Is it? It's not.
No. Finland's your other Scandinavian country.
I swear it's Scandinavian.
Make some good heavy metal in Finland.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and I've got bonkers entry in the Eurovision this weekend.
Apparently. Oh God!
Where's Iceland then?
Iceland's just sort of floating in the ocean, mate.
Yeah.
An island.
You know, we fly over it on a transatlantic flight. You go, what's that bit?
Oh, it's not part of Scandinavia. Oh, every day's a school day. There we go then. But yeah, anyway, ignore that bit. But he played in one of these 3 countries. But which one is it? So that's how we will say it.
Up to Sweden.
Up the Norway.
Norway. Are you both wrong? It's Iceland. So maybe
so your whole question.
Your whole question.
It's not a Scandinavian country.
That's wrong. As a trick question.
He did say there's a rogue one in there.
Yeah, my favourite Scandinavian country is Andorra, lads, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, Bob Harris, you know, he said Iceland, he's right. No, he also got the John question
John
right as well.
He's won
it. So we are going to need the tiebreaker, which is fine by me.
I'll make sure some point this season. I can vaguely remember that.
That's going to be the main. We're going to do a big quiz, ladies and gentlemen. Next Fan Social Live will be a big 2023-24 Ipswich Town quiz. So tune into that. I'll let you know the details, and obviously we're going to be joined by a lot of the KOA army, and obviously everyone else get involved in the comments. But yeah, tiebreaker question, and we're going to segue onto this man after this question. That is Shawnee Aluko. Obviously announced his retirement at the end of season dinner. Obviously professional career. Obviously spent the last 3 years with us. But how many goals did Shawnee Aluko score in his 492 games during his career? He scored 4 for Town. So that's 4 for you. Bristol Rovers, obviously, this year. 2 against Cambridge. And then 1 against Portsmouth. And that 4-0 win at Fratton Park.
Good game, that was.
That was a very good game. Very good game. It would have been good. The Cambridge game would have been good if we didn't, draw 2-2. So we're 2-0 up at half time. Shawnee scoring the 2 goals. But yeah.
I'm trying to do some quick maths, and I'm not good at maths.
But yeah, 492 games. Obviously played for many clubs. FA Cup runner-up back in the day under Hull City. Obviously played for Rangers, Aberdeen, Hull, Fulham, Reading. Played in China for a now defunct Chinese team.
Odds on you pronouncing it?
Beijing Suffin. Chenfeg.
Okay.
Chenfeg? Beijing Chenfeg. Yeah, that's what.
We'll go with that.
Go with that, I think. But yeah, all right. I've got a few here. 2662. Steve Wallers. Is that the Steve Wallers in our chat? The man from Plymouth? 48. No, that's no Steve. That is the Steve Wallers. I don't know if there's any other Steve Wallers. Actually, I think there's basically the other photographer who works with me. He's called Steve Waller, but I don't think he's got the S. He's just got Steve Waller. But yeah, 424 people joining us live, which is fantastic to see, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to chat about a lot more Town things. And Steve's gone, yes, it is. It is him. So good to see you, Steve. We'll bring you on next time to do the massive season quiz. But anyway, boys, to win it, what do you reckon? How many goals did Shawnee Aluko score in his career? Closest to the correct answer gets the point.
Well, I tried to do 1 in 4, and I think I've absolutely ballsed it up. So I've got 146. God knows.
I got 86.
86. Right, I'm just going to quickly clarify. I'm going to just use different websites here because some websites don't always show you the proper things, but I'm having a feeling this one should be right. I'm just going to quickly double check, and we shall see who is going to be coming out with the trophy this time around. Just doing a bit of a Davina here, just sort of dispensing it as much as possible. And the correct answer is 61. Just 61 goals. So Bomber Harris, I don't know if you... Because you've got the advantage here, Legend, watching from home. You can Google it, off the bat.
Under the viewers, Ross.
I'm just, he's got a lot right. He's got a lot right there. So some people got good knowledge, obviously. Peachy and a few others, but yeah, Juster, you have one though, mate. Sorry, Wazza, but Juster has one. You're the closest.
Fair play.
The correct answer. So yeah, speech. Should we do a bus parade for you?
Please,
I want to. Get him out the roof of my car.
Yeah.
Absolutely speechless. I mean, how many times have I done this, and how many times have I maybe just scored 1 point? I've won. I've ended the drought. I'm like Ipswich Town. I've waited all this time, and now I'm up and running. Yay!
Turn up for the big ones.
Yeah, just turn up for the big ones. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
take that win and put that in the back pocket.
I like it. Bomber Harris, I'm sorry. You just called me a cheated git. I'm sorry. He said it was a pure guess. So I trust you. But I've just got to speak to my people. I'll speak to your people. But overall, he's won it. Overall, but Juster, you are the strike champion this week. And as I said, we're going to do a live massive quiz of 2023-24, looking back at the season. I'm going to get myself some big questions. So get ready for that. But let's talk about Shawnee Luco then, boys. Because, he has made that announcement he's going to retire. Obviously, the last few years, he's been a bit of a bit part player, but it sounds like he's been a very important player, was behind the scenes, doing the analyst stuff, watching the games. In training, it seems he's still there doing what he does best, because he's a talented player. Obviously, signed as one of the 19 summer signings back in 2021. Obviously, he has played in the Premier League. Obviously, a Nigerian international as well back in the day. But retiring at the age of 35. Let me double check that quickly. But yeah, not a surprise really, but it sounds like he could be staying at town in some capacity.
Yeah, I mean, to say about what he's been doing off the pitch, there was times in a Town shirt where it was an absolute joy to watch. You look at that sort of game against Burnley last season, and to be fair, I think he made his debut for us in the old Pizza Cup, didn't he, last year? Was it against Newport? And
League Cup, Carabao Cup, yeah.
It was a Carabao Cup, and
great, did
he had an absolute stinker.
Yeah.
And, then you saw him play the next time he pulled on the shirt, and you thought, bloody hell, what? That must be looking at two different players. So, no, fair play to Sonny. He's had a great career. He's played at the top table of English football. He's, like you say, represented Nigeria internationally, and hopefully, McKenna said, I think in the week, that he's got a sort of good footballing brain, and you get the impression that's the kind of people that McKenna likes to surround himself with on his sort of coaching staff, your Lee Grants, your Martin Pertz. Don't see any reason why you can't go on and join them.
Yeah, and it seems like just a top lad as well. Obviously, he's played at the highest level, but he's really humble and grounded. And obviously, Jobster, he was signed part of that 19 summer signings. I think at the time we were thinking, do we need another attacker? Because I think we already signed Scott Fraser. I think Louis Barry was there as well. Obviously, Burston Selena then followed suit. I think on deadline day or day before deadline day. And there was that question like, will he play any minutes? And he actually played a lot of games in that first season. I think he played like 36 Leeds games. And then the last 2 years, he's been very much a bit part, but he has been part of this sort of culture that we have at the football club. And I'm sure we wish him all the best. And we could see him as a coaching capacity at some point, maybe. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it was about the 12th signing of that summer, of the big overhaul. But yeah, he's again another one that needed a bit of time to get up to fitness. But once he's got that fitness in, I mean, that was that brace against Cambridge that set him on his way, didn't he? That was really well. I think he scored the following match against Portsmouth. So we've been treated to some really good performances from Shawnee or Sonny, however we're that's going to be the big debate, isn't it, really? But if he's joining the backroom staff, then brilliant. Going to be a fantastic addition to back McKenna and the team up. And he's certainly getting that Ipswich DNA that we like to see now.
Yeah, it's just a shame that his last game was against Maidstone, and obviously we won't talk much about that because we lost. But that was his last game, and yeah, I'm sure he will look back and go, oh, I wish I sort of ended it a bit differently. Maybe, even if like his last league game was the QPR game, which was not a great game anyway. It was a goal of straw, but he played in that game, made a little cameo. But that'd be a nice little game. Obviously, McKenna wasn't just going to be sentimental and go, okay, you play a few minutes against Coventry or something. Obviously, there were must-win games. But maybe he wanted a bit of a better send-off. Maybe he wanted to play more games. I think he actually said that in his interview. Like, obviously, I wanted to play more games, but I'm sure he's learned so much and to be part of the celebrations. That's one thing I liked about Wazza as well, is that, as you mentioned earlier, is that all the players who maybe didn't have much minutes this year, they all felt part of that celebrations as well.
Well, yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, he's gone out on a bang, hasn't he? He's gone out getting promoted to the Premier League, and regardless of whether it was a small part on the field, I'm sure he's played a massive role off the field, and he's contributed to that. So I'm sure if he's got children, grandchildren, family members, he can tell them about that in 20, 30 years. It will look back hopefully on this his playing time with Town with great fondness, and who knows what he might go on to achieve sitting next to McKenna.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it sounds like he's been obviously watching upstairs in the with the Annesley boys, and then at half time he runs down and brings his insight to McKenna and all the team. So yeah, all the best to Shawnee in his career going forwards. We're going to now segue on to a boy who's just started his career, and that is Amari Hutchinson, because I want to quickly mention him. He's been recalled by Chelsea. I think they're having a little look at him in the training and stuff like that. But yeah, best ever loan player, boys, because we speak about Giovanni Dos Santos and other players like that. Martin Reusser could be up there. Obviously, we signed him permanently after that, Wembley goal and that spell when he came on loan. But yeah, Jobster, Amari Hutchinson, mate, what a spell he's had. His first spell in senior football as well, and he has been, once again, we spoke about him so many times on this podcast, but I wanted to quickly mention him again because he was named Young Player of the Year for Town as well. But yeah, what a first full season in senior football for him.
Indeed, yeah, and if you don't mind, I'll slightly indulge a little bit if that's okay, because Amari I first talked about Amari probably about 3 years ago. If you might remember when we had Ainsley Maitland-Niles on loan to us, and no laughing in the chat about this, but at my company, Ainsley's dad is a salesperson. So I was getting, having a great season talking about how Ainsley was doing for us at Ipswich. Why does this segue over to Amari? Well, Amari's dad also worked at my company at the same time. So getting that Arsenal connection at the time, it was great to hear how Amari was developing within Arsenal's team. Fast forward to August of last year, and we're hearing Amari Hutchinson signing on loan from Ipswich from Chelsea. I had to do a bit of a double take and think, this name rings a bell. I'm sure I've heard of it and all of that. And through talking to my colleagues, they were like, yeah, it's Thingy's son. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're talking about him as, his career going. And I mean, it's been great. I've been able to stay in contact this season, sort of having, chats behind the scenes, just, saying how impressed as an Ipswich Town fan I've seen, with Amari pulling on that shirt. And I mean, haven't we seen this talent blossom, over this 46 game, season from Amari? I mean, he's come on leaps and bounds. You're absolutely right. First year in senior men's football. I mean, ain't bad, is it? The end of the season being, young player of the year, promotion to the Premier League, potentially. I think he's nominated for one of his Hull goals for goal of the month. I mean, this is just the beginning, and selfishly, I'd love him to come back next season. In a capacity, maybe as a loan. Maybe we've got the financial clout now to potentially buy him. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, we have been treated to, probably one of the best loan players that we've had in a very long time this season, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, and his celebrations are fun to see, aren't they, Wazza? And Yeah, that would be the big question. Obviously, that was another thing at the end of the season dinner. I think it was McKenna's birthday, I think, this week or next week or something like that. And he sort of got asked, what birthday present does he want? And someone shouted Amari, and they went, Amari. So, yeah, but he's probably up there as one of the best loan players ever. Once again, it's that cliche, don't fall in love with a loan player. We have fell in love, and we shall see what happens with the future of him.
Well, how can you not fall in love with the lad? I mean, there's that game day from pre-season, Ross, where we played Luton over at Colchester United, and between the two of us, we said, give him the ball and stuff will happen.
Yeah.
We weren't wrong. I remember him scoring that first goal against Southampton away, and obviously with these sort of academy graduates, if you like, they don't always put in the hard graft. They don't always put in the tackles and the physical side of the game, especially, if they're sort of coming down from the Premiership. But he thundered into a tackle on the edge of the Southampton box, got straight back up on his feet, received the return ball, I think it was from Hursty, and he's tucked the ball away. And from there, you've just seen him go from strength to strength, level to level. Off the ball, we can all talk about the skills he's got on the ball, his shooting, his footwork, his, trickery. But off the ball, he puts in such a shift as well. He bloody loves a slide tackle, I'll tell you that. So I think he's one of them kids where, I'm a bit too young to remember Martin Royce with great clarity. But I remember Dos Santos. I remember, even people like Ryan Fraser, Tom Lawrence, who all did well in the town shirt. For me, he's clear. He's head and shoulders, because from him coming in, he's come in as a boy and he's left this club as a man, and he's a man who's not on his own, but certainly played a big part in firing us to the Premiership. Wish he just hadn't declared for Jamaica so he could play for England, really.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Obviously, we've had a few loans this year. Obviously, Jeremy Sarmiento, Jezzo, he's been good as well. But yeah, Murray Hudson just on a different level, and I think the whole game, those two goals sort of went, I'm here, and we can speak about Murray for a long time, but we won't do that right now because we've got a whole summer to talk about transfers and all that bits and bobs. But yeah, I want to now sort of end the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, talk about the fixtures. Obviously, the Premier League's not even finished yet. Obviously, our season's done and dusted. We don't have to worry about the playoffs, thank God. But yeah, I want to quickly just sort of end the pod talking about the fixture release date, which is the 18th of June. So just over a month to go. But I'm sure that's what's next up, really, in the calendar is the fixtures. Obviously, the new kit, signings, and all that sort of stuff. But I want to sort of get the boys excited. Also get you, ladies and gentlemen, a bit excited as well. But Jubster, what games are you looking forward to? There's some grounds I'm sure you want to tick off. There's some grounds we've never actually been to. Like, I don't think we've ever been to the Man City's new ground, obviously the Etihad, because obviously we've been in the doldrums of League One and Championship. They've obviously been in the Premier League, and they've obviously moved to Etihad whenever they did. Obviously, we've been a main road, but we've never been there. Brentford's new ground we haven't been to, but obviously we have been to the Emirates. We have been to Anfield. We have been to Goodison Park. We haven't been to we have been to the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but as behind closed doors. So the players have, some players who was, I don't know, I have to look at that and see if there's still players who played in that preseason game. But obviously town fans never been in that away end. But yeah, take away, my friend. Which games are you looking forward to most? Any connections in terms of like people who support those teams?
There's a few connections, but I mean, the one that stands out for me straight away is, and you're talking about it when it comes to grounds. I want to go to Goodison next year because it's the last year before they moved down to the docks. So I want to experience that, that older original stadium before it closes down. So Goodison Park. Not looking forward to St James's Park because the last time we were up there, you're so high up, you're ringing back to Suffolk to find out who your scorer is because you can't see on there. Looking forward to going to the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well. Like you said, it was behind closed doors when Ipswich played there, but yeah, looking forward to going to there. Got quite a few friends that are Spurs fans, so that'll be good. And then let's not forget, we've got 19 games at Portman Road. It's going to be as we did the pitch invasion, and I was saying to my son, I said, we're standing on that pitch. I said, the next season there's going to be the likes of Haaland, Saka, Salah, all coming and gracing this pitch, and we're going to be in there in the north stand watching, probably paying a little bit more attention to the opposition than we maybe have done in the next season. So yeah, absolutely bring it on. Just can't wait to see, whether we start at home, we start away, and when these fixtures are going to drop for us.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And Wazza, I know you're a man who's done a lot of miles, a lot of away games in League One and the Championship. You've gone to the likes of Morecambe, Fleetwood,
Forest Green
Rovers. But now we're going to be heading to the likes of Old Trafford, St James's Park. Charlie put in the chat, which is a great ground. Obviously, we've got that connection with Newcastle because of Toby Robson and co. But yeah, which games are you looking forward to, mate?
Yeah, I mean, you think of all the great theatres of football up in the Premier League, and I think Bournemouth is right up there, top of the division. Always like the Vitality Stadium. No, I mean, obviously, you're looking for your Anfield, like Jubster said, Goodison in its last year. So, I've done Old Trafford when we lost in the cup. I've done Emirates when we lost in the cup. I've done Chelsea when we lost in the cup. But I've never done Anfield. I've never done Goodison. My boss is a Liverpool fan, so I've already told him that I'm expecting 6 points, else I'm leaving. And one of my colleagues that I work with is a Spurs fan, so I'd say that's 6 points as well. Else I won't let him, do any work for the rest of the year. It's just these are the stages you sort of dream of playing on, isn't it? Like you say, we've Jubster, me, and a whole host of town fans have done those hard yards up to Morecambe, Accrington. I remember Gillingham in the rain in the scaffolded away end, and now we're going to be setting off to some of the biggest, most historic grounds that that are in this country. And who knows? Maybe if we do well enough, we might even get in a cup final and go to Wembley, which would be a real bloody turnout because we ain't done that neither. So yeah, I mean those traditional sort of big six always going to jump off the page. And then you're looking at the historic grounds, your Goodisons, and I've been there for a concert, but I've never done West Ham's London Stadium as a football fan. Big grounds that are sort of super uber modern. You've got to relish all of that when you've been to some of the places we have.
That's a good point, actually. We haven't been to the new West Ham Stadium either, have we?
Me and Peachy have to see Green Day.
There you go.
So I've stood on the pitch.
Yeah. So yeah, it counts. But as is, in terms of the Ipswich Town game, we've not played there. But yeah, going back to that Spurs game, there's two players in the current squad who did play there in that friendly 3-0 defeat back in 2020. Yeah, Wolfie and Kane Jackson, obviously.
Go KJ, what a hero!
Yeah. And Donashian as well. So I can't forget about Donashian, can I? But yeah, those are the three players who played in those games. Obviously, there's two like 11s. But yeah, I can't wait. That's a lot of people have said to me, like, Ross, you can be taking pictures, snappy snaps of Premier League footballers. And we are also, they are Ipswich Town players who are the Premier League footballers as well. But yeah, the likes of Haaland, likes of Son, can name check all the players. It's going to be one hell of a ride, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait for it. Thanks to everyone who's joining us. 478 people joining, which is mad. Once again, I'm sure this will grow throughout the summer, throughout next season. Thanks so much for joining us. But any other business from either of you? Jubster, first Saturday without a town game. Now we've got to wait until now August pretty much because pre-seasons there'll be games, but August in terms of the first game we've got to wait until then. But what are you going to do with yourself, my friend? We can just sit back and relax to watch some playoffs, but because we're not involved, thank God. But what are you going to do with yourself, my friend?
Well, this weekend I'm moving my daughter Jessica back home, so that's this Saturday taken care of, and I think the wife would like me in the garden because the grass has got quite long. So summer of jobs ahead. I'm taking Jessica and Harvey to Barcelona next month, so that'll be nice. Shame the new camp's being rebuilt, otherwise we would have had a trip out to there. But all eyes on June the 18th now, really, isn't it, for us as town fans? We can just sit back and enjoy these playoff games that involve other teams and a couple of cup finals that we've got coming ahead. And we've also got the Euros to look forward to as well, haven't we? Which is a nice distraction as well this year. But yeah, cannot wait for the new season to start and start visiting Premier League grounds. I mean, I'll just sign off by just saying I genuinely thought I'd never see Ipswich Town back in the Premier League in my lifetime, and here we are now saying roll on August. I just cannot wait.
Premier League, baby. But yeah, Jobs, that's a good thing, as you mentioned, about the Euros. It is at least we have got football in June. But yeah, no Ipswich Town games for a while. I'm sure you'll just have this weekend to sort of recover from. It's been a busy few months, isn't it? Traveling to a lot of grounds and a lot of nervy games. But yeah, what are you gonna do, Saf, my friend?
Eurovision, mate.
Yes,
the greatest event of the year. Every year, me and me mum, we bloody love the Eurovision. I've done since I was about 7. So I'm absolutely ecstatic for that. Then my life rapidly goes downhill until August, or at least until, we go and defend the Innsbruck Cup.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like Jubster says, I'll just sort of sign off by saying, I never thought we'd be here. It was never us. It was never my club. It was never Ipswich. But it bloody is now, isn't it? Premier League. One of the elite. Genuinely, I feel like I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be hearing Paul Lambert telling me that it's nay normal that we've just drawn 0-0 away at Northampton and Josh Harrop has just fired 12 balls into Rose Head. It doesn't feel like real life, but it is.
Careful what you wish for. Hey,
yeah,
come on,
careful
what
you wish for.
Careful what you wish for.
Big clubs and all that. But yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievable. So yeah, I'm going to try. If I could hibernate over the summer, that'd be bloody wonderful. I'm sure I can ask work. Can I just have 3 months off to just doss in bed all day? But no, absolutely wish we could get going tomorrow. But like I say, at least it's Eurovision and the Euros. Be all right.
True. We're all right. We'll be all right. And then, yeah, pre-season. Obviously, there'll be, as we mentioned earlier, there'll be the new kits, fixtures will get released, and then we'll get ready for pre-season. It'll go like that. It normally does.
Sign Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, and all that stuff, those big dogs. But yeah, Jobster, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining me. It's been a great show. 492 people joining us. So we nearly got that to that 500 mark, which is just great. Thanks, everyone, for joining us live. If you're listening another day, join us live. Get involved in the comments. Share your thoughts. Get involved in the debate. But yeah, it's been a pleasure to bring you another live show. Enjoy, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy celebrating even more. Enjoy Eurovision if you're watching. See if the UK hopefully won't do too bad. Obviously, was it last year we did really bad? Really bad?
Most bloody years, to be honest, Ross. Honestly, it's easier to look at the years that we've done relatively okay because you'll be there a lot less time. Yeah,
true. But 498 people, can we get to that 500 mark before we sign off? Just share it quickly, ladies. Just share it quickly as I do the sponsors. This is actually a good opportunity for the sponsors to get maybe a few. Manscaped. Use the code KOA to get 20% off and free delivery for getting yourself in your summer look. For all your below the waist grooming, beards, your beards, your noses, and everything. That way, your hair grows. You can sort out with Manscaped. Use the code KOA, and also follow us on all our socials: Kings of Anglia on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Check out Jubster and Wazza on their own Twitters. As you can see there at Mark Jubb, at Matty Worrell as well. And Ipswich Town, our Premier League baby. It will not get. I will never get tired of saying that. Can't wait to bring you more podcasts through the summer. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll be back next time to bring you another live fan social. And this is now a Premier League podcast, so we're just going to enjoy it. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks again for watching and listening.